Good morning. Welcome back to ContraPeso Noticias. Thank you for joining us. Live for Chiapas, Mexico. I'm Ana Acevedo. It's 9:30 a.m. Mexican time this Monday, January 6, 2026. Let's begin with today's top headlines. Mexico reaffirms rejection of military intervention in Venezuela. Delcy Rodriguez sworn in as Syrian president of Venezuela following capture of Maduro, and Nicolas Maduro pleads not guilty in New York court denounced kidnapping. Let's start with national news. Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum issued a firm and detailed statement this Monday from the National Palace in response to the United States military operation in Caracas and the capture of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. Mexican leader reminded the public that the history of Latin America is clean and forceful. Intervention has never brought democracy, emphasizing that the America belongs to their people and not to doctrines or world powers. The U.S. operation, led by Donald Trump, resulted in dozens of deaths and triggered widespread international condemnation. Mexico, together with Chile, Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, and Spain, formally condemned the unilateral military action, calling them an extremely dangerous precedent for global stability. President Sheinbaum explained that she held direct communication with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez to coordinate a joint statement reaffirming the defense of national sovereignty and the rejection of any invasion. She then laid the fifth concrete proposal to confront regional challenge. Absolute respect for sovereignty, product invest and to development, economic integration based on shared supply chains and fair trade, social well-being as the central pillar of the public policy, and permanent dialogue among equal partners. She stressed that today's global challenge, including international economic competition and the rapid growth of Asia, cannot be resolved through the use of force, but rather through cooperation, innovation, and education. Sheinbaum also reiterated that Mexico maintains a dual strategy with the United States, rejecting any form of intervention within Mexican territory while at the same time reinforcing security along the northern border, increasing drug seizure, and transferring high level cartel leaders. Through this approach, she said, Mexico's success in signing a formal agreement with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, those first and central point is full respect for Mexico's sovereignty. And as these political tensions continue shaping the region, we move now to another major development here in Mexico. President Claudia Sheinbaum stated this Monday, January 5th, that victims on the interoceanic train accident are not required to file criminal complaints in order to receive government support, although they are free to pursue legal action if they choose. The deterrent, which occurred on December 28, 2025, in the state of Oaxaca, left 14 people dead and nearly 100 injured, prompting a wide-ranging investigation by the Office of the Attorney General of the Republic. During her morning's press conference, The president explained that the prosecutor's office itself opened a formal case file and that specific forensic evaluation and being conducted with the support of the Railway Transport Regulatory Agency to determine the causes that the crash and establish a conviction. She warned that victims do not need to seek out private law firms as the government guarantees direct assistance through the National Executive Commission for Victim Support and though the insurance policy held by the interoceanic train system. Sheinbaum underscored that there will be full and comprehensive reparation for the damage and the federal government remains in contained contact with the affected family. At this time, 11 people continue receiving medical treatment. Regarding compensations, Sheinbaum said that the specific amount are still being determined as the government legal counsel remains in negotiation with the insurance company. However, she clarified that the Attorney General's office will define additional reparation in accordance with the victims' law. Authorities confirmed that data for the locomotive's black box has already been struck and that further respect assessments are ongoing, including testimony from the legal representative of the Ishmut of the Tehuantepec Railway. All aimed at clarifying responsibility and guarantees justice for the victims. And staying on domestic affairs, there's another key issue shaping Mexico. President Claudio Sheinbaum Pardo highlighted this Monday that Mexico currently refines 80% of the gasoline it consumes, a dramatic increase for the 30% record in 2018. She explained that this progress is a result of the energy policy initiated during the administration of former President Andrés Manuel López Obrador and consolidated under her current government. During her morning briefing, the president emphasized that energy foreign is synonymous with national foreign. After visiting their refinery in Tula, Hidalgo, where installation of a naphtha hydrosulfication reactor has begun, she recalled that during the neoliberal period, efforts were made to dismantle Pemex and CFE under a privatization-oriented vision that abandoned refined operation and fostered corruption. Sheinbaum said that those governments intended to extract crude oil, export it, and then purchase gasoline abroad, a strategy that should left installations such as the Tula refinery virtually paralyzed. In contrast, she noted that the rehabilitation of Mexico's six existing refineries, the purchase of the Deer Park refinery in the United States, and the construction of the Olmeca refinery in the state of Tabasco have allowed national fuel production to expand significantly. She also recalled that between 2006 and 2018, Pemex has heavily innovated while production declined and corruption scandals increased. In the face of climate changes, Sheinbaum said the current strategy seeks a maximum level of hydrocarbon production while simultaneously promoting renewable energy sources. Finally, the president said that another core objective of the federal government is to reduce dependence of imported natural gas, of which Mexico currently purchases 90% from Texas, thereby strengthening the country's long-term energy security. And now, turning to the final markets and global economic developments. In a session marked by volatility across international markets, the Mexican peso managed a marginal appreciation of 0.04%, closing at 70.9063 units per US dollar in spot trade. The moment occurred amid a strong rally in silver, gold, and oil prices as they ascend that possessed the largest gains, while the USA dollar reversed in the initial events. The DXY index, which tracks the dollar against a basket of six major currencies, inclined 0.2% to 98,005 points after it was revealed that the US manufacturing index fell to its lowest level since October 2024, accumulated 10 consecutive months in contraction territory. Despite the positive market performance, Nervousness persists due to Washington states toward Colombia, Venezuela, and Mexico and Greenland, and fears that the administration of Donald Trump may resort to military force and advance its agenda. On Wall Street, market closed higher. The Nasdaq rose 0.69%, and the S&P 15 advanced 0.64%, and the Dow Jones jumped 1.13%. Mexico Stocks Exchange also posted gains of 1.36%, reaching 65,014.37 points and approaching record levels. Oil prices closed higher, with Brent crude at $61.76 and West Texas Intermediate at $58.32 per barrel, amid uncertainty over U.S. companies' ability to export Venezuelan reserves following the capture of Nicolas Maduro. Gold, a traditional safe haven during periods of tension, soars 1.80% to $4,460.45 per ounce, while silver climbed to $75.87 in 7-day markets. Moments were moderate. The yield in 10 years US Treasury bonds stalled at 4.186%, slightly above 4.11%, recorded 1 week early. We now send greetings to all the radio stations that rebroadcast ContraPeso Noticias across the region. 100.1 La Multicultural en Chiapas, La Voz del Pueblo, Radio Flores Magón, Play Hits en San Cristóbal de las Casas, Radio Morena en El Parral, Voz de Alerta en Huixla, en Salto de Agua, from Villacomatitlán, La Comaltitleca, La Pegadora, Radio Canoas, Radio Esmeralda, La Rancherita, La Pichanchera, La Mera Mera, La Cultural Radio, La Super Romántica, Hinocoso 4, True La Pegadora, and Radio Conexión, and Radio Migrante. Grow your business with us and reach a broad, engaged audience. At ContraPeso Noticias, we deliver relevant, high-quality information and provide a unique platform for your business, product, or service to reach thousands of people. Our diverse audience closely follow the most important news guaranteed meaningful exposure. Advertising with us offers reach, credibility, trust, and direct impact with customers who are genuinely interested in what you offer. We adapt to your needs with flexible advertising packages designed to maximize your marketplaces. Don't miss the opportunity to connect with more clients and strengthen your brand. Contact us today at 981 829 0201 and discover how we can help your business grow. Enjoy a unique stay in Cancun at Torre Caribe, located in an excellent area near Paradise Beaches, local food market, and shopping centers. Room available starting 220 Mexican pesos per night, with rates subject to seasonal changes. Take advantage to our special promotion. Mention ContraPeso Noticias when you call and receive 15% off your third night. Accept ability and find the perfect option for your trip. For more information and reservation, call 961 333 6072. Make your stay unforgettable. And now shifting our focus on the international arena. Here is what's unfolding around the Delcy Rodriguez was sworn in this Monday as Venezuela's interim president during a ceremony held at the National Assembly 2 days after the capture of Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, during a U.S. military operation in Caracas. Rodriguez, who had served as executive vice president, assumed office by order of the Supreme Tribunal of Justice, which declared the forced absence of the sitting president. In her address, Rodriguez expressed deep sorrow over that she described as an illegitimate military aggression against the nation and the kidnapping of Maduro and Flores, who were transferred to New York, will both plead not guilty to charges of narco-terrorism. The new terrorism president received formal backing from the armed forces and the National Assembly, with the presence of Nicolás Maduro Guerra, the detained letter's son. Serving as a witness to the ceremony, the 55 years old attorney, central figure of the Chavista movement since the administration of Hugo Sanchez, has previously served as Minister of Communication, Economy, Foreign Affairs, and most recently hydrocarbons, in addition to her role as Executive Vice President. Her appointment grants her authority to lead the defense of national sovereignty and preserve constitutional order. Hours before taking office, Rodriguez labeled the U.S. operation an illegal kidnapping and a barbaric act that violates human rights. However, it's a notable shift in tone. She invited the government of Donald Trump to pursue an agenda of cooperation under full respect for international law. Venezuela's constitution established a period of 30 days to call new election in case of absolute absence of the president, although the Supreme Tribunal was interpreting Maduro's absence as temporary. This interpretation raised uncertainty over the duration of Rodriguez's interim presidency, which will largely depend on how she manages relations with the United States amid the deepening crisis. And just hours after that ceremony, new developments began unfolding on the streets of Caracas. There, this Monday afternoon, explosives were reported in Caracas, Venezuela, just hours after Delcy Rodriguez assumed office as interim president following the capture of Nicolas Maduro by U.S. military forces. According to the FA news agency, bursts of gunfire were heard in the vicinity of the Miraflores Pares, the seat of the executive branch. Colombia's RCN News reported that the shooting began after several small drones were detected in the area. Eyewitness accounts circulated on social media described anti-aircraft detonation and heavy weapons fire, while videos showed armed men moving through the streets surrounding the president's palace. Residents record continuous upward gunfire and the sound of the security alarms around 8 o'clock in the evening. Unofficial information indicates that the incident involved the overflight of aerial surveillance drones, which triggered an emergency defense response from security forces. Years later, authorities declared the situation under control, although the episode caused alarm about the population and was whispered speculation online. The newspaper La Jornada confirmed with sources close to the situation that the drones resulted in the capture of Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, and pointed with Rodriguez swearing as an interim president before the National Assembly. Venezuela is currently operating under a decree of external emergency, a constitutional state of exception measure enacted on January 3 to comfort the ongoing crisis. And these developments are now ripping across the region, especially affecting diplomatic relations. Relations between Colombia and the United States are experiencing one of their most severe crises in more than 2 centuries, marked by insults, threats, and expulsion. US President Donald Trump warned of a possible invasion of the South American country following the capture of Nicolás Maduro in Caracas, prompting an immediate response from Colombian President Gustavo Petro. When asked about Petro's future, Trump said he better watch himself. Petro fired back on the social media platform X, stating that if necessary, he would take up arms again to defend national sovereignty, recalling his past as aberrant and accused to the United States of destroying the rule of law in American Latin. The escalation tension comes as Colombia entered a crucial electoral period that will determine the next composition of Congress and Petro's successor. The Colombian president further argued that Washington is attempting to influence the election through action orchestrated by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and through the use of Inter-American Development Bank reserves to finance far-right political forces. Meanwhile, figures such as former President Álvaro Uribe expressed support for the U.S. intervention in Venezuela. Petro rejected Trump's accusation related to drug trafficking and reaffirmed his political journey from the M19 movement to the signing of the peace record. Petro has called her nationwide demonstration on his Wednesday, with the main event set for Bolivar Square in Bogota. The crisis is very complicated, but Colombia, 2,220 kilometers border with Venezuela, home to millions of Colombian Venezuelan residents, and crisis crosses by drug trafficking networks and armed groups, factors that significantly heighten regional vulnerability to any military escalation. And amid this mounting international pressure, we turn now to the legal front in the United States. Nicolas Maduro appeared before a judge in this New York for first time this Monday, where he pleaded not guilty to charges of narcoterrorism and conspiracy to import cocaine into the United States. The 63 years old former Venezuela leader was transferred along with his wife Celia Flores to the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York after being captured in Caracas during the U.S. military operation that include strikes on military installations. Now, we go to a break and way back. Remember, this is ContraPeso Noticias.